So the other day, I tried something kind of wild: vibe coding. I'm not a programmer, I've never been a developer, and I wanted to see if I could build a fully functional app using nothing but AI. No traditional engineers, no coding, just me, my laptop, and a few tools that honestly felt like magic. And the crazy part, it actually worked. I built a fully functional AI bingo app in a matter of 2 hours. It looked great, it launched, it worked, and it rocked. And then it completely broke. Hi, my name is Maitri, and this is Blunders and Breakthroughs, the spot for founders, creators, and misfits obsessed with building, breaking, and figuring shit out. So if you are into AI, startups, or honestly just creating something from scratch, you're in the right spot. And today we are talking about vibe coding. Let's go. So, in this video, I'm breaking down four things. One, what is vibe coding? Two, what are the tools I used for vibe coding? Three, what worked beautifully? And four, what totally fell apart? And I have a secret fifth section, which is the most important for any founders or someone who's looking to build on ideas with no coding experience. So, stay tuned. Let's start with the big question. What is vibe coding? In short, at its core, AI vibe coding is letting AI handle the code. You tell it what you want to build and it builds it for you. Think of it like you being a creative director. You're steering the vision, which is maybe features or user journey or flow, and you're letting AI handle the technical lift. The creator of this term, who's Andre Karapati and Twitter user, and I hope I'm saying his name right, he describes vibe coding as just going with the flow. And honestly, that's exactly what it feels like. You stay in your creative zone and AI does the rest until it doesn't. And we'll get there when we get there. Here's why vibe coding matters. I'm not a developer, but I have always had ideas that I wanted to build on. And for years, code was the only blocker. Vibe coding changed that completely. And it's not just for beginners like me, even professional development teams are using it to move much faster. This is one of the reasons why a lot of small teams are able to achieve huge business success in short periods of time. Take a look at Cursor. Cursor, the AI coding app, it grew from 0 to 100 million in ARR in just 21 months with 20 people. That's less than 2 years and less than 50 people to grow from 0 to 100 million. That's crazy. Second is Bolt by StackBlitz. They also grew to 20 million ARR in 2 months. Similarly, Lovable, a company from France, grew to 10 million in ARR just in 2 months. These aren't side hustles or side projects. These are real companies built insanely fast using AI first workflows. But of course, like everything else, there is a catch. Let's talk about why vibe coding does not work in every situation because I hit these walls and I hit it pretty hard. First, the context is shallow. So AI doesn't really understand what you're building. What it does is it looks at all the code bases out there on the internet, it identifies patterns, and it mimics those patterns without completely grasping the nuance of what the builder is trying to build. So, yeah, the code looks clean, but once you stress test it, that's when everything falls apart. Second, debugging is brutal. It's because you didn't write the code. You are trying to fix someone else's code or AI's code. And what it feels like is trying to edit a novel that was written in a different language. It's a language that you don't completely understand because you didn't write it. Honestly, it's like asking your little brother to get you water, and your little brother comes back with a bag of ice cubes and no cup, nothing. You could have just gotten water yourself. Third, the creativity is kind of limited. This goes back to point one. AI is amazing at remixing what already exists, but if you ask it to build something completely unique or something totally new, that's where it struggles because it's clueless. Vibe coding is great at building apps that have been built a billion times before. Think of to do lists. Last, prompts are everything. The more detailed and clear your prompts are, the better the results are going to be. But here's the catch: you need to know what you want to build. You need to know the language of developers. If you don't know how to describe what you exactly want to build, you're going to spend more time tweaking and rewriting these prompts than actually building. So, yeah, it is fast, but it's not free. It's going to cost you your focus and clarity and energy that you're going to put in to rewriting and reiterating your prompt over and over again. So, what? Vibe coding is just a fad? No, I don't think so at all because vibe coding, when it does work, it works really well. So there are certain use cases where vibe coding can be perfect. It's perfect for weekend projects, for hackathons, for just getting an idea live. And especially if you're a non technical person like me, this can feel like unlocking a cheat code. You don't need to know JavaScript, you don't need to hire an engineer. You can just build. It's not about building the perfect app when you're starting out. It is just about creating momentum and showing people what you have in your mind. And for that momentum, vibe coding can be game changing. So, here are some of the tools that I use to vibe code my AI bingo app. Number one, Lovable. It is super beginner friendly, it's all natural language, it's easy to understand, and there's not a steep learning curve. Second, ChatGPT. Now, a lot of engineers might fight me on this, but it's great for generating and explaining small code snippets. It's great for working with other apps. Let's say I'm building something on Lovable or Replit and I don't understand a specific section of the code. It's great for me to just take it, plug it into ChatGPT, and tell it to explain it to me. Third, Replit. It's surprisingly smooth and it is great for prototyping. And the best part is it can just be hosted online. I don't need to do extra setup. The last one is Cursor. It's honestly the most advanced out of all the ones I have suggested, but it might be better if you are technical because there's a lot of pre setup. You have to build and set up the environment, you have to set up code. I signed up for a Cursor course and just downloading all the different packages for the IDE environment really overwhelmed me. I couldn't even get to the coding part because the setup was a little too complicated for me. But if you are technical, it's an incredible resource. It does a really good job. That's what I've heard from my developer friends. Codium or YogiBot is another one. It is awesome for debugging, especially if you're newer to code. And from all of these different tools that I have tried, I realized that no single tool is perfect, but together they actually let you build surprisingly fast. And sometimes that's the only problem you have, and you're looking for a simple solution. By the way, if you are enjoying the video so far, consider dropping a like, a comment, or subscribe for more tech chaos like this. It really helps me out. So, we have talked about what vibe coding is all about, but here is something that no one on the internet is actually talking about when it comes to vibe coding. What does it actually mean for founders to have a resource like this at their disposal? It's not just a cool hack, it's actually a shift in the way we are building and hiring and how we lead teams, and honestly, how we even think. So let's break that down a little more. Here are some of the major ways I think being a founder is going to mean different things in the age of vibe coding. Number one, you can launch faster than ever, and that's not the problem, but expectations are also higher than ever. With vibe coding, an MVP doesn't just take 6 weeks, it's a weekend project, which sounds amazing until you realize that investors, users, and honestly any other stakeholders expect a baseline, and that baseline is rising every day that we speak. People are able to do amazing things with these tools. So if you just go to investors saying, I got an idea, that's not going to cut it anymore. People want to see and people want to know how far have you gotten along. And it's not just a brainstorming session that's going to get you into VC rooms or venture capital rooms. Execution is the new flex. So yeah, vibe coding helps you move fast, but it also is pushing the bar of success forward, and you've got to keep up. Second, you don't need to be a dev, but you do need to be tech fluent. What I mean by this is you can't just vibe code your way to a product anymore. You need to understand the technological jargon and technical terms that are used by developers if you want to inject it into your prompts and get better results from AI. Founders don't need to know every syntax rule, but you do need to know how to explain your vision to AI in a way that it clearly understands it. It's like knowing enough French in order to be able to order dinner in Paris without getting something weird. So, take the time to learn the basics and understand the foundations of software development. That will really help you get far. Third, your budget shifts from salaries to tools. This one is sneaky. Before, a lot of early stage founders spent money hiring developers. While developers are still important today, a lot of money is being spent on different tool stacks like AI credits, APIs, AI coders, etc. But here's where it gets interesting. You no longer ask devs while hiring them if they can code. You ask, can they co create with AI without breaking things or gaming the system? That changes your hiring process. You need new tests and new metrics and new interview questions and interview systems to understand how comfortable devs are with AI. And suddenly, prompt engineering becomes a legit skill. Fourth, you still need humans, but their roles are evolving. Soon, we will live in a world where AI will build the foundations of new technological tools. Humans, they will become editors, the stewards, the ones who say, this works, this doesn't work. Think of it like grading homework. The student, which in this case is AI, learns and turns in their assignments very quickly, but the teacher, you, need to catch the errors and fix it before sending it off into production. And that requires focus, which means, ironically, vibe coding demands more mental clarity, not less. You will have fewer people on the team, but those people will have to be more focused and mentally strong to keep working as a guide rather than be fully sucked into developing or coding. Fifth, data security, that's your job now. If you are using AI tools, you are feeding it data in the form of customer input, system logic, customer information, ideas, branding information, messaging information, etc. And in many cases, this data is being processed and massaged and potentially used to train other models as well. If you are a solo founder or part of a small team, that could become a blind spot pretty quickly. Understanding how the data flows, how the data is being used, where it's being stored, how it's being protected, all become very important questions. And the onus of maintaining the sanctity of this data is on nobody else but you. Otherwise, you can lose your reputation, your clients, and people's trust very easily. Sixth, and the last point, tech moats are disappearing fast. This may be the most important one of all the 6 points. 10 years ago, if you had a great engineering team, proprietary code base, that was your moat. But today, with AI, anyone can replicate your tool pretty easily. Today, anyone with a half decent prompt and few hours of focused energy can recreate any tool pretty easily. So, what's your USP? What is the edge? Your brand. your storytelling, your connection with your customers, your speed to iteration, your understanding of the psychology of your users. Tech is no longer a defensible piece. You are. So, yeah, vibe coding isn't just a trend or a tool, it's a shift in mindset. And that too, a massive shift. I don't think we have still seen or witnessed the complete shift. It's happening right now. And that is going to change industries. It's going to change the way we fundamentally build and integrate and interact with machines. It forces founders to step up, not just as coders, but also as creative technologists. You don't need to know everything, especially when it comes to coding, but you do need to know enough to lead and lead strategically. So, should you try vibe coding? Absolutely. But you should go with your eyes wide open. You should understand that it's not applicable for all use cases. You should acknowledge that you will break stuff. You will get stuck. You will hit bugs that you don't understand, but you will also build. And that it is an iterative process. It is a learning process, and you'll only get better with time. And when you see the final result of your build, it gets addictive. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. We really covered a different topic that I don't have expertise in, but I wanted to show people and explain to them what it is to be a non technical person and try vibe coding. So, if you are a non technical person questioning or even wondering if you should try vibe coding, my answer is yes. Let me know once you do try it and share your experiences in the comments below. That's it for this time. Thank you. Bye.